Hello, I'm Melinda NailFanatic, and most of you come on this channel to see my tarot videos. But before I even did tarot videos, I was doing more just channeled speaking, and there's something that I wanted to share with you, an experience that I had that I wanted to share with you for a while. And today they were like, okay, yeah, before you can do the general, you got to do this channel message and tell them about your experience of being in the desert. So before I get into that, I just want to share how little things have come to me in my life that I appreciate it, and they come in unexpected ways. They come in surprising ways. And so there was one day, some of you may remember before I did a show, that I was cleaning out my family closet. It's not a closet, it's a display cabinet. It's a hutch with glass doors and stuff. And I had some belongings in there in a box that I hadn't looked at, and inside of there I found a piece of petrified wood that I had purchased when I went to Yosemite. And I didn't remember that I had it, but it represents the ancestor energy. And the timing when I found it was really actually very fortunate, because the ancestor energy was on my mind a lot. So ever since I found that, it's been on my tarot cards, my tarot area, my table. And then in going to shop in different stores and stuff, I found one day it was like at a Ross or something, I found this beautiful quartz crystal cluster that I just love. And so I purchased it and I kept it. And it's been in my area. And this thing, I sit and I meditate. It's like it sits perfectly in both of my hands, right? So I would sit and meditate with it and get so many messages. Hold on, let me put this light on a little bit. Show better. Anyways, and then for my birthday this last year, one of my beautiful clients, she gave me this very rose quartz looking. I'm not even really certain that it's rose quartz, but it's beautiful, and she got it from Brazil for me. So I appreciated that. And I had gone to the local gem store where, if you were here for the first Love, Peace, and Happiness retreat, it was one of our field trips we took. It was so fun. We went to see the largest quartz crystal ball in the world. So we all got to touch that together, which was really awesome and fun experience. But at that same shop, I found from Tibet this beautiful citrine, and I love it. And I had lost it for a little while, but I found it again. So that's awesome. Some symbolism in there. So now, with all that in mind, I had planned to go out with my family for the day to go to the lake and go swimming. And it's interesting because the people I was going with, they're very always running late. Well, this day I was running late. And it turned out to be fortunate, because as I was running late, we get a phone call that the girls had gotten themselves stuck in the desert because they followed the wrong directions on the GPS. Oh my God. So we have to find them first, which was fun. For some reason, the GPS took them down a dirt road. Okay, the place that we're going, like, it's commonplace, it's paved road and everything, but they went down this dirt road and they kept going far and far and far. And as I drove through there, I realized, oh my God, they drove through all this, and at no point did they think to stop and turn back. Anyways, I catch up to them, and their car has 0 tires on the floor, because the car is sitting on a sand hill like this. It's solid, right? They're in the middle of the desert here in Nevada, and they're sitting on this sand hill that's built up, and the tires are above and back, and the car's just sitting on it in the middle. Well, as it worked out, through some frustrations and stuff. Oh, you about to be in my video right now, like literally. As I went through some frustrations and stuff, I had realized that my girlfriend had her AAA card, so we really didn't have to worry. Just call AAA, they'll come get us out right away, you know. And so I'm in the middle of a live video right now. Just FYI. Jasmine says, hello, America. She's got another interview. That's awesome. I'm so happy for her. So while we're out there, we get on the phone with AAA, and they're coming, and I get on the phone with the tow truck driver to help describe where we're at to help him find us. And I told him, I said, you know all those movies you see where there's like 4 hot chicks stuck in the middle of nowhere where there's no God explainable reason why they're here, but if the tow truck driver don't show up, them bitches are gonna die. I said, this is that movie. You have to find us. There is no quitting. You better keep looking for us until you find us, because we're in the middle of nowhere, 4 hot chicks. So we're standing around, and I said, you know what? We're gonna just have to wait. We sent all the children in my daughter's Suburban, and we sent them on to go to the lake and have fun, and we'll let you know when we get out of here. So the 4 of us stay behind, and I said, well, I need to find some place to make myself comfortable. I ain't sitting out under this hot sun burning up like this. So I started looking around, and over there's a little tree bush thing, and there's a little embankment in the dirt, and it just looks like a perfect sofa. So I went over there, and there was an old branch hanging down off the tree that was just hanging there, dried up. So I ripped it off and cleared the space and put the little floor mat there, sat down and had a nice little sofa in the shade. It was beautiful. So we sitting there talking, enjoying our time there in the wilderness and talking stuff. And I'm teasing them because I'm like, how many times did your intuition tell you to turn around and go back, and y'all didn't listen? And after a while, I heard, now it's time to go see what gifts Gaia has for you. So I told the girls, I says, well, I heard that until the tow truck driver gets here, it's time for us to go see what gifts Gaia has for us, to take a walk in this desert and see what you find, that there's something out here to be found. And then they said, well, that's more for you than it is for them. And I said, oh, but I also heard that that's probably just for me, and y'all probably ain't interested, so it's all cool. I'm about to go find some shit in the desert. So I get up and I walk off to the right, and as I'm walking around, I'm just knowing like I'm knowing that there is something here for me. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's valuable. And as I'm walking, a piece of wood catches my eye, and I can't help but pick it up, and this is it. This is the piece of wood that caught my eye laying on the floor. The twists, the way the wood was all together, it really caught my eye. And I had to have it, and I picked it up. So I carried this thing, and I said, thank you. And I saw it all cleaned up, and I just wondered, what do I need this for? What am I going to do with this, right? And so I picked it up, and I grabbed it. I just thought it was the most unique piece of wood I had seen, just laying around like that. I was like, wow, where did this come from, and what is it doing here? It doesn't even look like it belongs here. I don't know, but it's been there for a while. And I said, now, is this roots? What this looks like, it's roots. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. But anyways, I picked it up and I took it and I put it in the trunk of the car that was sandbarred. And then they said, okay, we're not done yet. Now go around the other way. I said, okay. So I went to the car, walked around to the opposite side of the desert. And I'm thinking about how we're literally in the fucking middle of nowhere, guys. We're like an hour from civilization, maybe even more. And I'm walking around and I'm saying, okay, now I know there's something here that's going to catch my eye. I know there's a reason why they brought me over here. And as I'm walking through the desert, I see something glitter on the ground, and it's a rock. And I was like, oh my God, that rock is so glittery. It looked like, it reminded me of this acrylic I have because it's white and glittery. And that's what it looked like in the sun, white and glittery. And this is the rock. This is the rock that I picked up. And the lighting in here is really dim right now, so you're not going to see the glitter it has. But I picked it up, and I thought, now that rock is unique. It's so flat. I don't know why I need it. I don't know why I need to have this, but I need to have this. So I picked it up. I'm walking around, and I'm still not feeling finished. You know, I'm not feeling finished. So I'm walking around the desert, still just looking and saying, okay, Well, now what? And they said, now stop and put the rock down in between your feet. And they basically showed me, standing feet shoulder width apart. And so I did, and I put the rock down between my feet. And they had me just stand there. And they had me stand there like this, with my feet spread apart, the rock between my feet, right? And I'm just standing there. And they had me ever so slightly begin to move energy with my hands, just like that. And immediately, just like now, I could feel the energy. Even now, as I'm retelling this story, I can feel the energy begin to move just as I move my hands, right? And so I'm standing in the desert doing this real slow. And then they start giving me clearing statements to run for Gaia and for all humanity on Earth. That anywhere where we will be blocked, and I'm hearing from, because I don't recall, this is all coming as it needs to right now for y'all, understand and know this. But they say, it was anything that would block us from allowing our love, peace, and health and wealth and happiness to flow in experience every day in our lives. Would you like to uncreate and destroy that? Yes. Times goes in, right, wrong, good or bad, and so I'm out there doing these clearing statements like that, and they're giving me one after another. And as I move energy, then, my hands start moving a little bit wider, and I'm moving energy and I'm feeling the wind kick up, and I'm noticing clouds rolling. And it was really profound. I stayed there, I want to say at least probably 15, 20 minutes moving energy. And finally, as my whole body is on spiritual high, because I have all this energy flowing through me as I've connected with all that is, to run clearing statements, not only for Gaia and planet Earth, but for all consciousness on all time and dimension. And for whatever reason, like, that's something that I get a lot as I do spiritual work, do spiritual processes, that they should not just be beneficial to me, but benefit all of us. And so as I do this, and they finally tell me, okay, that's enough now. I'm standing there filled with energy, and I pick up my rock, I walk back. And by the time I get back, this wind is kicked up. There's some clouds and rolled in right over. I noticed it all immediately. There's some dark clouds rolled in right over us. As soon as I got back to where the girls were, it started sprinkling a little bit. And the girls said, oh man, now the lake is gonna suck the rain. I said, oh, don't worry. By the time we get to the lake, we're gonna have perfect weather. It's gonna be a perfect day. I said, don't worry about it. This is gonna be gone by that time. And they showed me, my guides showed me that this energy was the uncreation and destroy of that energy. The weather was responding as a physical side effect of the energetic service that I was giving and allowing to flow through my energy. And so by this time, the tow truck driver came find us. The girl's on the phone with the tow truck driver. He came find us. He don't know how far back we done drove off of the main road. I'm like, look, we were driving for a minute. It was at least probably somewhere around half an hour off the main road where we were. So all of a sudden, then they tell me, well, it'd be easier for him to find you if y'all walk over to the main road. I'm like, really? You couldn't tell me that right when we started this game? And they were like, no, you needed time in the desert. You needed to go pick up your gifts from Gaia. And you needed to do what you did with the energy out there. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it was perfect, for us to be out there. And I found myself extremely grateful to be in the middle of nowhere, connected to all that is. And I wondered, well, what do I need these things for? And you know what I was shown at first was I could use them for my nail pictures. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I've used them for my nail pictures. And I feel like they brought a great energy to my nail pictures. But the story isn't all the way over yet, because I believe it was within that same week that I had a second cousin come in from out of town with her boyfriend and his children. And he had a child who was into geology really deeply. So this child told me that this had a lot of crystal quartz running through it, and that's the glitter that I see in it. that it's crystal quartz, and that all the darker stripes, he said, if you had a light powerful enough, you would see that it's clear, but it looks darker because it's clear and it's all shadow inside there. And then I have it written down somewhere, and I didn't do any research for this video, but yes, it's crystal quartz, and there's some, give it to me, it's in there. And there's some lead, I know there's some lead in it. And there's something too that's coming up on here. There's a letter Y in this stone right here. You see that? There's a letter Y. And then I just felt a real connection to this stone. Now, fast forward, because that was at least a couple months ago, maybe even a little bit longer. And fast forward to about a week and a half ago, I had a lady contact me. She was getting ready to go out of town with her husband. They both needed pedicures. So they came in, and right away I found out where they were going. They was going down to see the ruins, because they're both very spiritual minded. So they were going down to Mexico to see the ruins of the temples and such, and visit these beautiful places. And so I start telling her about my experience in the desert and the gifts that Gaia gave me. And as I described the piece of wood that I found her, she said, it sounds like bristle pine. And I said, well, I don't know nothing about it. She said, well, it's a very twisted pine. And it's native to Nevada, and it grows in the desert. She says, and they're the oldest trees on earth. And the way you describe it, it just sounds like it's probably been out there for a long time and just sitting there. And so later I sent her a picture of both the rock and the bristlecone pine, and she confirmed that, yeah, that's a bristlecone pine root. And so I just thought it was really beautiful, you know, that by being out there in the middle of a situation that the old me really did try to come out. I'm not gonna lie. That part of me that wants to flip out, talk shit, and cause a fuss and make a mess out of shit. And for a moment, I became that person, but then I came back to who I am now. And coming back to who I am now, that's how I found these gifts to be blessed with. And so now I've been moved to put them around the table where I read for you. And I feel the energy of Lusor's God and my ancestors come through them, and ancient wisdom. I feel that energy when I look at them. That's how I feel, you know, and I feel the energy of prosperity and longevity with them too. And so I just wanted to share this with you, because no matter what's going on in your life, there's a gift for you where you're at. Even if you're stuck in the middle of one of those horrible chick flicks in the middle of nowhere, and if the tow truck driver don't come get you and your 3 hot friends, y'all gonna die, yeah, don't worry, he'll be there. It may take him a little while. So let me tell you though, the tow truck driver, as me and Jazz was walking down to go to the main road, he found us. He was coming out our way, so we got to ride back with the tow truck driver. And it was really easy once he got there. He winched the car off, and I was able to drive it out of the dirt road, and we rode. And as we got back towards the side, we called my daughter and the rest of them to check in with them and see where they were at and stuff. Apparently, during the whole time we were chilling in the desert, they made it to the place that we had planned to go to. It was full, and they decided there were so many people there they didn't want to stay, so they picked another place. And by the time we got back in tune with them, they were 10 or 20 minutes ahead of us to a different place. So I told the girls, I said how fortunate it was that we got to spend our time enjoying the desert and having this experience, and I got to find my gifts and stuff like that, instead of riding around being frustrated because we're going back and forth from this far away place to that far away place because the place is too full with a bunch of kids and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I like the way this worked out for me. Plus I have my gifts. So, you know, there's a lot of things that are going on in all of our lives. This is a thick energy sitting on planet Earth right now. You can't escape it. The only way you can escape it is get off the planet. Okay, just clue right there. There's a lot of people that are going to make that choice. And hey, you know what? Love you, and I wish you all the best. I have nothing to do with your choices. However, for those of us who are not making that choice, you know, no matter where we sit, we can choose to find some place that's more hospitable to sit physically, just like I made that nice little sofa in the shade and everybody enjoyed it. Or spiritually, take that walk and see what gifts are right there for you, because there's always something sitting there for you. You're willing to get out of the immediacy of what it appears to be and take the chance to find out exactly what it is available for you there. And even for me, because when you're in these experiences and you respond in a higher way, in a way of opportunity, that energy is intensified for all humanity. So no matter how tough it feels, no matter how stuck you feel, there's gifts in the desert for you where it seems like there's nothing at. And right now, I'm hearing ancient wisdom is available in en masse. En masse is the way they're showing me. This is not even my usual vocabulary. To receive it and process things differently to better ourselves and see exactly what we're here to do and be. And it's an existence. It's not a job. How can you exist where you're at in love and peace and happiness, in harmony with whatever the situation is and wherever you find yourself or your kids? Oh, look. Anyways, I'll be back with more of these because I heard that there's a lot more in store of channel vlogs for you. Also want to let you know I updated my vlog, or no, my blog. This is the vlog, video vlog, the blog. Why blog? Anyways, it's written and it's typed out on my website. It's on my NailFanatic website and it's linked through my tarot website on the more services pages and more stuff available pages, whatever I call them on there. I always come up with names. Anyways, if you want to go check that out, there's some interesting writings on there. And then, of course, I'll be back with your daily general tarot reading to see what's going on. They're mostly daily. Sometimes they're tri-daily. Whatever. They come through when I'm told to, because that's one thing you got to understand about this channel is I go where spirit leads me, and I do it when I'm given the message to, not when I think I'm supposed to. So with all that being said and done, I'll see you in the next video.